Well, a very beautiful day in the city of Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria, West Africa, as we meet a man, a unique personality, a man who is very much concerned about the future, a man who has contributed his quota to the past in terms of development, especially in the area of technology advancements in Nigeria and by extension in West Africa. A man who can be described as an intellectual, a thinker, a doer. He clocked 75 years today, July 6, 2018. The great man, General Sam Momah, former Minister of Science and Technology in Nigeria, a two-time minister for that matter, and the pioneer director of National War College, Abuja, a former Adjutant General of the Nigerian Army, an author, an engineer, and a father of many great children. We are privileged to be in his ambience right now. Today is his birthday, and tomorrow the birthday will be commemorated with a book launch, releasing 2 books at the same time. Let's start by asking General Momah, how do you feel today, sir? You're 75 today, and we are privileged to come celebrate with you in Abuja, and we are very honored. We've been trying to talk to you in the last 24 hours, but you've been receiving visitors right from the earlier part of the day. Your children from America and your visitors from all parts of the country come to greet you, sir. How do you feel at 75, and how will you describe life at 75, sir?
Well, I feel great. I feel very honored, and I feel very humble too. We know that life expectancy in Nigeria is 52, so if one is able to make 75, I think God has been very kind to me. So I'm also thankful to God that not just living for living's sake, I've been able to put together 10 books today.
10 books.
And those books are essentially on development of Nigeria, looking at the problems of Nigeria, and preferring solutions on how these problems can be solved. So I think God has kept me alive to be able to achieve these objectives. Because in Nigeria, it's not the number of houses you have, or the matter of land you have, or how many women you marry, or whatever properties you may have. Essentially, I believe that those 10 books are my legacies. And I think that posterity will be able to go through them and be able to find some reasonable suggestions on my vision on what Nigeria should be. So I feel great. I feel honored to be receiving friends' congratulations, and I believe that the future is still bright for Nigeria. All we have to do is change direction.
Let's ask you, how did the journey started? I mean, a journey of 1,000 miles, as it said, start with a step. How did the journey of life started? I mean, today you are 75, and I believe you've seen a lot in life in terms of leadership, in terms of fatherhood, in terms of administrative skills and all that. But let's start. How did it start? Can you tell us your background, your parents, and how you joined the army? So how did the journey of 1,000 miles start for General Sam Momah?
Well, I must say that I'm very proud of my parentage and my childhood. My father was a reverend gentleman, and his pastoral work took him to all the nooks and corners of Nigeria. So I was opportune to be traveling around with my father, my mother, and I was able to interact with people of my age grade wherever I went, both in the north and south of this country. So I was able to develop that Nigerianness that has made me be tribalized and a true Nigerian. That is why I love Nigeria so much. And also,
why are you the first born, sir?
I was the second born.
Okay, sir.
fact, the second boy.
Oh.
But we had a lady that was the most senior. So
Okay,
I was like third in the family.
Okay.
But my senior brother, of course, died during the Civil War. And I have only a brother, you know, and 4 sisters. So that background of having a reverend as your father really nurtured me in the fear of God. And I believe that nothing matters in life except if one is honest and learn to love one another. And incidentally, at the age of 19, I went for an interview to join the army, and I was among the few who were selected. And from there, I was sent overseas to do my cadets training, and I finished, got commissioned. Immediately I came back, the Civil War started. Unfortunately, the Civil War went the way it did, and we thank God that Nigeria is still united today. So, the army wasn't a very smooth riding career, because we had so many coups and counter coups, and of course ended up with a civil war, and that did not help matters. So eventually the army handed over, and then of course came back again, and that compounded our problems. So one would say that it's been that smooth in a way, because for sure one has contributed his quota while in the army. I did my best, and when I was deployed as a Minister of Science and Technology, I made my own impact.
Let's go back. Why did you choose the army? I mean, a lot of young people, when they were growing, they could have seen a whole lot of other professions. Some will say, oh, I like football, I want to be a footballer. Some will say, oh, I like teaching, I want to be a teacher. And looking at your father, who was a reverend gentleman, you will have seen one or two ethics around him, or one or two things that have fascinated you. I mean, being a pastor, or being a clergyman. But why did you choose the army? I mean, a lot of people in those days, in your era, are afraid of their children joining the army. They're afraid of death. They're afraid of a whole lot of things. So, how did you join the army, and what amount of courage did you have to put to your parents before you were allowed?
Yes, it was just the Lord's doing. It wasn't my choice to join the army. It was just circumstances. As I told you, I had a senior brother who had just finished his Cambridge exam and was vying to enter the university. And in those days, it's not easy to pay school fees for anybody in the university. So when you get admission in the university, the community will get round and then contribute money to pay your school fees. And then my father felt that there's no way two of us can, because I was just moving almost apart with my senior brother, you know. So it was just about 2 years my senior in secondary school. So I now knew that if I finished school, that I won't have the opportunity to enter university, because my senior brother had to first go through, you know. And my father was thinking then that the best thing for me to do is to, when I finished secondary school, to go to teachers training college. So I didn't like teaching profession. I felt I wanted to be an engineer always.
Okay.
So, and the secondary school where I was, our principal happened to be a member of Federal House of Assembly, Federal House of Representatives.
In those days?
Those days. Because those days, the members of National Assembly are professionals.
Can you imagine?
Our principal was a member. So when they have sessions, he just goes there, go to Lagos for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then come back and remain the principal of our college in Midwest then.
In the Midwest?
Yeah, you know.
Midwest.
So one day the principal went to Lagos for this meeting and came back with a kind of advert for people who would like to go overseas to be trained in the army, you know. So I jumped at it because I was just doing my lower 6,
okay, sir.
And I just applied. I didn't know I would never be called.
Just like that?
Just a week later. That time the colonial masters were the officers, mainly British Indians and all that. They were mainly the officers in the headquarters in Lagos. So I wrote this letter. A week later, they replied and asked me to come for interview. I asked my father to give me money to go from Asaba to Lagos for the interview. My father said, no, I must be crazy. Why should I want to join the army? I should go and finish my, my education. And my father refused bluntly. He said he would not give me the money. And they just £1. And in those days,
yes, sir.
They just £1.
That was a bit expensive
for the transport.
to and fro.
To and fro, to travel to Lagos and come back. So my father refused. I kept pleading. My father said no. And I must say I was very determined.
Okay, determined.
I refused to go back to school. My father locked me out of the house. But at night, my mother will bring me in to sleep. Then during the morning, he will not let me out so that my father will not know I slept in the house.
That is the mother diplomacy. So, it does happen to
so after 4 days of this rigmarole, my mother then begged my father, please, can I now give this boy this money? If you say you don't have, let me give him. So my father said, you can give him. Let him. If he wants to go and kill himself, let him go. He wants to join army. So this was how my mother, I don't know how I got the money, and gave me to go to Lagos for this interview. And I went out of 193 applicants. Only 8 of us were selected. It was a very rigorous interview. Written, practical. The colonial masters, they were very strict.
Yeah.
That time it was not a man, no man issue. You have to be intelligent. So for 1 week they were screwing us and all sorts of tests. And eventually I succeeded. And when I came back, I was succeeded. My father still said no.
He still insisted?
He still insisted. But as luck will have it, this thing called money.
Yes, sir.
It works in Africa. So, when I was telling him that, look, I passed the interview, he said, rubbish, the interview, you're not going anywhere. And I brought, I think it was either £2 or £3. Because after the interview, they gave us money, allowance.
I didn't know.
They gave us allowance to...
As a compensation?
Yes, for us to transport ourselves home, because we succeeded. Bought us some dresses, took us to Kingsway, bought us some nice wares, and then gave us this allowance. £3 those days.
That was a heavy amount of money. And you that just came with £1 as for true food. Someone is now giving you £3. That was an encouragement. Sir.
So, when I now gave my father this, I told my father, this is what I said, rubbish. If you want to go and give your mother the money, So, tell her not going anywhere. He was stubborn until my uncles now came and talked to him. Said, leave this boy, never know. Let him just go. Because at this time, this was happening.
Yes, sir.
This was when Ojukwu came back from overseas. This he came back.
Ojukwu.
Yes. He came back from overseas, and against his father's advice and wish, he joined the army. So there was nothing his father didn't do to stop him joining the army. So my father said, you want to be like Ikemba's son. That to base his father. So when he now said no to, even after I passed the interview and I brought the money, he just said, give it to your mother, I don't care what it is, money. So I now got my uncles, they came down
to solicit.
And even my principal in my college came to beg my father not to allow me.
Oh, not to allow you to go? So you are valuable to the principal? The
principal felt that I was really doing well in school. I was among the first 3 in the class. And so the principal valued me. And I was also a very athletic man. I was good in football.
Okay, sir.
So the principal, I was really a star. So the principal felt, this kind of man, he wanted to keep me.
Yeah, this kind of
and he felt also that the army is not the best for me, for somebody who is so brilliant. Somehow there's this psychological thing that the army is not meant for people who are intelligent.
Yes, sir. In those days.
Those days. So the principal said, no, don't allow him. I like what you're doing. Make sure he doesn't. Eventually, I had to travel. And, of course.
So how are you able to plan the coup to travel? Because if your father insisted that you are not going, I don't know how you are going to do it.
What I said was that my uncles came
sir.
and begged him. He reluctantly
convinced him.
Yes, reluctantly agreed. You know, but then when I now got back to Lagos to prepare to travel overseas, you know, again they gave us some allowances. This time it was about £20. And honestly, I just packaged this money and said to my dad, that was the first time he smiled. He now blessed me. He said, my son, God bless you. Maybe this is a way of God to compensate me and turn around the family fortunes. That was how he blessed me. And I left.
Oh my God.
So this is
that's a movie story.
How I now joined the army and of course survived all the coup d'etat, survived all.
You are now ordained by your father.
My father. That's so much reluctant because honestly, if I didn't join the army, I didn't know what I could have done. Because those days it's not easy. It was only University of Ibadan. Only one university. And admission was very, very competitive. All this in Soka and Madubelo came later, maybe in the mid-60s. What I'm telling you now is 1962, 61. So only UI was the only university. So it was tough, you know, and the school fees was also a problem.
It was a fortune.
So when I saw that advert, they said they can train you as an engineer in the army. I said, what is the honor? What taught to do that? You know, so I said I joined the army and I joined the engineering corps. You know, I joined the army engineering corps. So I killed two birds with one stone.
That's fantastic.
So that is
joining the army, then become an engineer, which has always been your ambition and your passion.
Yes, and my brother didn't have to pay a dime for that. It was purely on government scholarship. So I killed 3 birds with one stone.
That's the iconic General Sam Momah. Now, getting into the army, what were those things that now facilitated you? Fascinated you? What were those things that got you going? I mean, when you traveled abroad, how was the experience? And what are those things that changed your life when you joined the army? And those things that add up to your intellect and made you who you are eventually? I mean,
well, I must say, the army depends on the company you keep, because you know the army is full of all sorts of characters. And so I made sure I kept the right company. I made sure I didn't associate with people who are not straightforward and people who are not really professional, who are kind of dubious and want to do other things except the military profession, you know. So that kept me out of military coups, and I tried to keep my hands clean too, not to get myself involved in financial impropriety, and I kept myself busy. I started writing books since 1993. I wrote my first book, Global Disorder and the New World Order. Those books were written in 93, 94. And
technology is power?
Technology is power when I was a minister, you know. So when I finished writing that book, General Abacha was then the chief of army staff. So I took this book to him, this Global Disorder and the New World Order. And when I showed him the book, he was marveled. He said, "You mean you wrote this thing?" He said, "Why did you have time to write the books?" I said, "Yes, every day." Then I was in the war college. So once the war college closes at about 4, I go to the library, reading and writing. And for 2, 3, 4 years I was doing that, and eventually came up with that book. And that book was what gave me the limelight in the army, and marked me out as somebody who has intellectual capability. And because it's not easy to read and write.
It's true.
You know, and write a book. You know, so Abacha took note of that and was very, very happy with me. And of course, when he now became out of state, he felt he should bring me on board to help at least make an asset of his cabinet.
Of that government.
So that is it.
a lot of people feel that the peak of General Sam Momah was when he became the Minister of Science and Technology. But there was a time, actually, that it was announced that you were to become the governor of Anambra State. I mean, military governor, I mean, Bilad. And somebody say, oh, there was a challenge, that maybe you have one or two things. Can you say that was your most challenging moment? They say you had an eye problem and they have to fly you abroad for eye operation, but your name was almost been mentioned as a governor, I think under General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. So can you tell us the story? What really happened? You nearly became governor of your state, Anambra.
Well, I was tipped to be governor of Anambra State, and Ibrahim Babangida had a lot of hope on me, that I have a lot to offer Nigeria. But I don't know really what happened, but the chief of army staff then, General Abacha, was not so much in favor of that. He had his own candidate, that was Bob Akunobi. Bob Akunobi, who eventually became the governor. And what I learned that happened was that Abacha said, I don't visit people at home, I don't go to fraternize, I
don't socialize?
On my own, yes. I don't socialize. And that's with me. I don't socialize. I don't believe in midnight crawling and getting and doing all stuff. I believe as a professional soldier, my honor is my principle, and I do not compromise that. So, and therefore, maybe he felt this man who is always on his own doesn't come around and that's.
He's not a politician.
Not a politician. So that was, but Babangida who saw, he came to then I was commandant of School of Military Engineering in Macaulay.
Okay.
So he came there, was very impressed how I turned around the school. The school was collapsing and dilapidated. I came, I just renovated the place and, streamlined the syllabus and, something that we used to see abroad. So when he came, he said, this is the best military school in Nigeria, and commended me highly. So I think that's where he saw that I could offer something positive.
In a political position? Yes,
the political position. So when he now succeeded in his school, he wanted to really make me the governor of Anambra State. But then, like I told you, when I wrote that book and went and showed Abacha, he now saw that I had potential, because I was the first serving military officer who wrote a book while in service.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria. Others write when they leave the army, or when they were in government. But I wrote while I was in service. Wrote a very high-profile book. In fact, 2 of them. So he felt that if I could most of the time, out of my busy schedule to write books, then I have something to offer.
So Abacha saw the light later?
Yes. Yes.
So what really happened? They say you went out, so that was the story of the governorship. You didn't become governor. A lot of people think maybe you were charmed then so that your eyes will not be able to...
No, it wasn't an eye problem.
Okay, sir.
So not the eye has nothing to do with that.
Okay, because that was a political belief then.
Yes. But even then, even though I wasn't made governor, I was still a member of Supreme Military Council.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. I was a member of... Babangida is here to make me a member of Supreme Military Council.
That's the SMC.
Yes.
You work with most of them, from Buhari, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, and you work with General Sani Abacha, and later General Absalom Abubakar. Who will you say is the best among the 4? I mean, in terms of leadership, in terms of political administration, and in terms of military strategy and stratagem? Who do you say is the best leader among the 4?
It's not easy to say this is the best, because it depends on what factors you are looking at. If you are looking at professionalism, the person can be better. If you're looking at a sense of integrity, if you're looking at patriotism, there is shade, and it would be wrong of me to now put them on a scale and say this person is the best. They all have their weak points and their strong points, and I believe they all tried their best while they were
for the country.
For the country, based on circumstances of their time. And this is something that Nigerians don't appreciate, you know, that no matter what, we must try and give some bit of regards to our heads of state, because no matter what, they are our leaders. We don't run them down. We must always give them that respect, because look at what Trump is doing today in the US. It's our followers, you know. So they know that if you run it down completely, it will affect the country.
The integrity of the country,
yes, so,
and the image of the country.
So when somebody gets to that level, it is not what he does that is important. It is what people do with what he does that matters.
It is not what he does that matters, but what people do with what he does.
Yes, because if you at your own level see that something is doing that is not right, and you just try and do it right yourself, you know? Yeah,
but that's your own thinking, because you are an intellectual. That's why you are saying it this way. A lot of people don't have that kind of brain, that kind of faculty that you are espousing now. You are talking about doing it, I mean, giving back to the country. A lot of people wait for leaders to give it to them.
No, you know, leaders, you don't. That's one thing Nigerians should get to understand. You know, a leader will have his own imperfections, but you at your own level, do your best, do what you think is right. Somebody like Reagan was just an actor. He was not really a trained politician. You know, he can speak well, but that's where it ends, because he's an actor. You know, but he covered America for two tenors and did a good job, because in America everybody is doing his own job. The corporate body are working. Everybody, you know, he just gives a glamorous speech and just goes home. You know, and that is what is lacking in Nigeria. People will wait for, has Brian waking up? What has he done today? What is it? What did he do? You at your own level.
Yes, sir.
What have you done? Have you got to work in time? What have you achieved every day of your work? What is your policy about where you work, and what is your contribution to national growth?
Your value.
Are you exemplary? If you are on traffic, do you obey traffic rules? You know, all these things, you know, they matter. You know? So if a driver drives well and keeps to the rule and does everything properly, and you don't get into becoming a kidnapper or an armed robber and all that, is possess a young boy with his property. So